Hey there everybody, this video will help you with double distribution. What I mean by double distribution is problems like the ones you see here on your screen, where you have two sets of parentheses and two terms inside each set of parentheses. The way we tackle these problems is we make sure we distribute everything that's inside the first set of parentheses to everything that's inside the second set of parentheses. I think it'll make more sense if I just walk you through some examples. So I'm going to start by distributing n, the first term here, to both things in the other set of parentheses. N times 8n, you can think of this as 1n if you like. 1 times 8 is 8, n times n is n squared. Now I need to distribute to the 8. N times 8 is just 8. Now I move on to, I'm done distributing n, now I distribute the other term, which is negative 7. Negative 7 times 8 is negative 56, n, I forgot to write my n in that last term, there should be an n there. And then last but not least, negative 7 times 8 is just negative 56, no n there. From here, we want to combine any like terms that we can. So I do have two like terms, these ones in the middle. So for my final answer, 8n squared stays the same because it's the only n squared term I have. 8 minus 56 gives me negative 48, n in the middle. And then minus 56 stays the same because it's the only number only term. Let's try another one. So I start off by distributing the first term, which is 4m. 4m times 4m is going to be 16. M times m is m squared. 4m times 2, 4 times 2 is 8, and then we have an m there as well. Distributing negative 5. Negative 5 times 4m is negative 20m. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Once again, we need to combine our like terms. The only two like terms are my two m terms here in the middle. 16m squared stays the same. 8m minus 20m is negative 12m. And then minus 10 also stays the same. I have Desmos pulled off to the side there. Of course, you can use Desmos anytime you want. I'm going to save typing things into Desmos until we get to things with fractions and decimals. We will encounter some of those today. But you, at any point in time, can use Desmos to help you with your calculations. Here comes a couple more. Okay, so just more practice. Notice that we have a negative 2r at the beginning here. That's fine, just don't forget about that negative. Negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. R times r is r squared. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, and then we have an r there as well. Negative 8 times 7 is going to be negative 56 with an r. Negative 8 times 4 is negative 32. Once again, we need to combine our like terms. There's only one r squared term, so negative 14r squared stays the same. Combining our middle terms, negative 8 minus 56 is negative 64r, and then minus 32 for our final answer. Trying another one. 6v times negative 5v. It's going to be negative 30. V times v, don't forget that v squared. 6v times 3 is 18v. Now distribute your negative 4. Negative times negative is positive. 4 times 5 is 20 with a v. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Now let's combine our like terms. Only one v squared term, so it stays the same. Combining my two v's, 18 plus 20v is going to be 38v, and then minus 12 stays the same. Give me a moment here as I reset for our new problems. Okay. So the next few are going to be with fractions and decimals. Like you might guess, we can double distribute when there's fractions and decimals in there, and that's perfectly fine. Nothing really changes. Like when we've dealt with fractions and decimals before, You're welcome to do those calculations by hand, but I would encourage using Desmos. And also, I'm going to just have you write your answers as decimals. That's pretty much how the state test would have you do things, assuming that the state test happens this year. Okay, here we go. So n, or 1n, times 7 over 3n is going to give me 7 over 3n squared. I'll deal with turning that into a decimal later. And then n times 9 over 7 is going to be 9 over 7n. Here's where we're probably going to want to start using Desmos. I need to multiply my first fraction, 3 over 4, so 3 divided by 4, arrow over. We are multiplying, so times my next fraction, 7 over 3. Desmos tells me that's 1.75n. And then last but not least, same idea, 3 divided by 4, arrow over, times 9 divided by 7. Gives me, let's round that, I'm going to say it's going to be 0.9. Looking at that 6, we have a 4 next to it, so it's going to stay a 6. We need to combine these like terms in the middle, but I'm also going to switch that 7 over 3 into a decimal. The way I can do that is I can just do 7 divided by 3, and Desmos will tell me that's the same as 2.33n squared. Usually we don't see answers with decimals and fractions mixed, that's why I'm having you do that. Next, let's add our like terms. 9 over 7, arrow over, plus, because we're combining now, 1.75. Let's round that. It's going to be 3.0. Since we have a 5 next to that next 3, it's going to turn into a 4. And there's an n there, don't forget. And then 0.96. Remember, use that gray X to get rid of anything in Desmos that you are done with. Trying another fraction one, same idea. 30 over 7 times 5 over 2. Desmos tells us that's 10.7. That 1's going to stay the same because there's a 4 next to it. X squared. Now again, multiplying. 30 divided by 7, arrow over, times negative, so minus sign, 1 divided by 2 is going to give me negative 2.14x, and then keep going. You can also hit this arrow with the blue arrow at the bottom to get a new space. That's what I'm doing right now, and then I'll just get rid of everything at the end. 1 divided by 2 times 5 divided by 2 is 1.25. And don't forget your x there. And then last but not least, 1 divided by 2, arrow over, times negative 1 divided by 2 is negative 0.25. Combine, combine. We only have one x squared term, so it stays the same. Negative 2.44 plus 1.25. Let's have Desmos do that for us. It's going to be negative 0.89x, and then minus, that's a weird 0, let me fix that, 0.25. So fractions, not a big deal, just use Desmos to help you with the calculations. Oops, I meant to erase. The next couple we're going to look at will involve decimals. And just like when we've dealt with decimals before, not a big deal. You're welcome to use Desmos to help you with your decimals, and I'll walk you through that as well. You're also welcome to do things by hand, but since we're focusing more on not just calculating, but doing more advanced things, that's why we're letting Desmos help us out. Okay, so this time we have decimals, not a big deal. We're still going to do the same double distributing process. 1.1 times 7.4 gives us 8.14. R times R is R squared. 1.1 times negative 3.7 is negative 4.07 R. Now multiply by 7.1. 7.1, oops, I forgot my point, times 7.4 is going to be 52.54. And then last but not least, 7.1 times negative 3.7 is negative 26.27. I've been writing kind of big, so I ran out of room. Sorry about that. Let's finish this off. 8.14R squared stays the same. Negative 4.07 plus 52.54 is 48.47R. And then that minus 26.27 stays the same. I'm going to try to circle that, hopefully. There we go. All right, let's do some more decimal fun here. 4.1 times 2.6 is going to be 10.66. N times n is n squared. 4.1 times negative 5 gives us negative 20.5, and then we have an n there. Now distribute your negative 3.5. Negative 3.5 times 2.6 gives us negative 9.1. Don't forget your n. And then last but not least, negative 3.5 times negative 5 gives us positive 17.5. Let's combine our like terms. 10.66 n squared stays the same. In the middle there, negative 20.5 minus 9.1 gives us negative 29.6 n, and then 17.5 at the end stays the same. All right, I have one more set of examples to show you. They don't involve fractions or decimals anymore, so that might make you feel a little more comfortable. But they're going to start off being written a little bit differently. Again, I'll show you there how to deal with them once we get there. It's just one little tiny step at the beginning. But good news, no fractions and decimals. So okay, so these don't look like double distribution to start with because we only see one set of parentheses. But I'm going to write this down here in the corner. Think back to when I have a variable times itself, it turns into that variable squared. So x times x is x squared. If I have a set of parentheses by itself, it turns into that set of parentheses squared. So 4v minus 5, all in parentheses squared, is the same as 4v minus 5 times 4v minus 5. Now that we've rewritten it, it looks like double distribution. So let's do it. 4v times 4v is 16v times v squared. 4v times negative 5 is negative 20v. Negative 5 times 4v is negative 20v. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. And then to finish that off, we combine our like terms. 16v squared stays the same. Negative 20v minus negative 20v is minus 40v. And then 25 to finish it off. So really the only thing that's different is you just need to be smart enough to remember that you need to rewrite the problem at the beginning. All right, let's do one last one for this video. Okay, first step, double distribute starting with a 7x. 7 times 7 is 49, x times x is x squared. 7 times 6 is 42 with an x. 6 times 7, also 42 with an x. 6 times 6 is 36. You might have noticed here that you end up 2 of the same middle terms, and that's just because we have 2 of the same set of parentheses. Finishing it off, 49x squared stays the same. Those combine to 84x, and then plus 36 stays the same. Hopefully that helps you out. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a great day.